Kemi Badenoch, at the press conference just now, you talked about the importance of stopping bankruptcy by squeezing welfare, and that's your big message today. I just want to know where you think this has worked around the world. You've been praising the Argentinian president, Javier Milei. Is he the model?
Well, Argentina has a different economy from Britain. The principle still stands that we need to live within our means. The government needs to live within its means. It's no good telling people that it needs to take more taxes out of their pockets and then wasting it. I believe that there are a lot of people who are out of work who should be in work, and we should do everything we can to help them into work. Let's get Britain working again.
Because the key detail with him is, in order to make it fair, he's cutting welfare across the board. But you differ from him in one big way, which is you are protecting pensioner benefits. Why is he wrong and you right?
Well, because we are not growing at the same rate that Argentina is. I believe the question you're really asking is about the triple lock. One of the things that I've said is that if we were growing at 2-3%, we wouldn't have a problem with pensions. Argentina is growing at 6%. What we're seeing right now is growth at 0.1%. Growth is flatlining. We need to start with getting growth, and that means focusing on getting people into work. People working are productive. That's how we get the growth. Businesses create jobs, so let's not punish businesses. Let's help them create jobs and invest.
But I was going to ask about the big picture of the welfare bill. Look, we spend £175 billion on benefits for pensioners, but less, £141 billion on working aid benefits and children's welfare, and £75 billion on benefits to support disabled people and people with health conditions. Look, you've taken off the table 55% of that. Given your rhetoric today, is that responsible?
It is responsible, because we want people who have paid into a system to understand that their contribution is recognised. We don't want to punish people who are paying into the system while leaving those who are not paying into the system alone. That is why we want to start with work. We have to, growth is the fundamental problem. We have to get growth. Cutting pensions does not create growth. So all we're doing is slicing a shrinking pie into different pieces.
How does shrinking things like welfare for the disabled help growth?
Well, we're not trying to go after people who are disabled. We're trying to go after people who are out of work when they should be in work. When we left office in July, 2,000 people, new people a day, 2,000 new people a day were claiming health and sickness benefits. That number is now 5,000 new people each day claiming benefits for health and sickness. That has got to be tackled.
And sorry, just one more on the triple lock. Are you saying never, ever will you look at reforming it? Look, in 2010, when it was brought in by the Tory-led coalition, I think there was a recognition that pensioners got something of a raw deal, but now it costs £12 billion more than it did then. Is there no moment where you might say, we're going to look again at this policy?
That moment is not now, and I don't want people to be confused about what our policy is. Right now, our policy is to keep the triple lock. Let us focus on welfare. That is the place.
Sorry, what do we mean by right now? So how long does that last for?
Well, let's see what mess Labour leaves. Let's see what mess Labour leaves for us. But what I can't do.
So you could change this after the election.
I have said that the triple lock is Conservative policy. It has been since 2010. In 2010, we came in to fix a mess that Labour made.
But sorry, just to be clear, what that means.
I have been repeatedly clear over the times, or at the dispatch box again and again, and I will be clear now. Conservative policy is to keep the triple lock
for the whole of the next Parliament.
Conservative policy is to keep the triple lock.
The run-up to this budget has been quite chaotic, as you acknowledge, but the run-up to a lot of budgets has been quite chaotic, not just this one and the last one, but in the latter end of the Tory years as well. Does something need to change about the way we do budgets, whether it's the structure of them, the Office of Budget Responsibility, fiscal rules? Haven't we ended up getting ourselves in a total mess how we do these events?
Well, I don't recall any budget run-up like this one. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, the Chancellor was giving a press conference saying that she was, likely to raise income taxes, and then last week we had a U-turn. She doesn't know what she's doing. That is the real problem. This is not about the OBR or how we do budgets. This is about the people running our government. They've never worked properly in the private sector, never run a business. They don't understand where money comes from, and that is why they're putting out all this kite flying and then shocked that it's having bad consequences.
But even with Jeremy Hunt, we saw huge swings in the forecasts in the run-up to the budget. One moment there was a surplus, another moment they were going to have to find money. Are you happy the system's fit for purpose?
Well, forecasts are forecasts. They change. What shouldn't change is a party's principles. What are you about? And what we know is that Labour is about tax and spend. It's about raising taxes. Last year, they thought that they could get away with raising taxes on business, and that was an easy place to go. Those people don't vote for them. And what's happened is that they've destroyed jobs. They've destroyed a lot of businesses. Farmers, for example, family businesses, many of them are just stopping. Oil and gas, another example. We need people who understand how to run an economy. Let's cut spending.
Final question. What do you think about the tone of the way the debate about asylum and immigration has been conducted over the last 24 hours?
Over the last 24 hours, I think that what Shabana Mahmood did in the House of Commons was the right thing to do. I thought her tone was spot on, actually. She's not somebody who I agree with on very much, but what I saw there was a woman who was trying to solve a very difficult problem, and I will support her in solving that problem. I don't agree with all of the solutions, but where I do agree, I will support her. But what I did see was Green MPs, Lib Dems, Plaid Cymru, SNP, all attacking her for wanting to control our borders. None of those parties, and actually quite a lot of the Labour backbenchers, understand the issue. And trying to make her ethnicity part of the argument, I think is completely wrong. This is not about the colour of anyone's skin. This is about making sure that our country is safe and we have stronger borders.
How did they do that, and what do you think when you see that?
Well, I just think when I see that there are a lot of people who don't get it. They just don't get it. I think she does, but I don't know that she's going to be able to get these things through. I don't think they will work unless we leave the ECHR. But if she has some good ideas, we will support them. Bad ideas, we won't support.